Today, we talk about...
How do you do it? It's just kind of like, it's just bare bone, right?
Yeah, dude. Just...
Dude, fuck! Fuck!
Yeah.
Throw these out.
Yeah, my most expensive thing in here. Cool. All right.
I just want to say to all your followers, stop following him. It's not cool. It's not a cool thing. Stop following Sandra. Follow Usama bin Laughing. Way better content. Way more varied.
Dude, we plug at the end.
I'm gonna just keep saying my name randomly. You fuck Sandra.
See, I remember these from my Usama bin Laughing on Instagram tour. It was great. It was...
yeah, these are the Nike Usama 11s. Right here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Me and Tinker was working on it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, listen, man. You gotta take this all in, however long it takes, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick 6 of these gems.
Okay.
As what draws you to them, what's attractive to you, and as you take it all in, I'm gonna turn off this AC because I gotta keep it cool in here, like a freaking aristocrat.
You're fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, man. That's.
You know what someone said about your collection? Is that a lot of these are amazing, and some of these are just like Mexican nurse. This is Mexican nurse shoes.
You know what's hilarious though? Those are maybe one of my top comfiest sneakers.
Yeah. Sponsored by Maria.
Wait, Filipino Maria?
Down at the Chulios. All right, so top 6, right? Top 6?
Yeah, man.
Okay. I'm a huge white sneaker guy. So anytime, it's my favorite article of clothing, or shoes clothing, whatever it is, right?
I would say so.
It's all white. So I love what you're doing here.
You know, it's funny, a lot of comics that aren't, or let alone anybody I bring in here that's not into sneakers is always drawn to either white, black, gray, brown, and...
So, I don't know, white sneakers just always look good with everything.
That's
when you're poor,
very correct.
You don't have luxury for looking good in a lot of things, so you buy one pair that you look good in everything.
That's right.
That's poverty, right?
That's right.
So this is what I would buy. I love this. I love the fucking little Brave New World type shit.
You know what's funny about these?
Yeah.
So let me tell you about these real quick. These are the Common Project's Achilles low, if you want to get technical about it. And by some estimations, this may be the greatest white sneaker ever made.
I look at it.
And hilariously, you're the only one to have ever chosen it on the show. So I guess he's got good taste, people.
This is good. This is the greatest white sneaker ever made, and Sadra is the greatest white man ever made. All right, love those.
So I'm gonna, as of the 2 pairs, I'm gonna pull out one so we keep track. So that's 1 of 6.
I'm getting these 6 to go home, right?
That's right.
That's what I'm getting.
That's right.
All right, so the white shoes. Okay, hold up. Oh, right here. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
This guy's got taste.
Yes.
Man. First choice.
Oh,
First choice. Okay.
Woo!
No. So, that's the location
That's
of Nike's headquarters.
That's where people from fucking white douchebags say they're going to. We're going to Beavertown, bitch.
Here, let me grab that of the 2.
This is absolutely fire.
Are you are you in tune with the hypebeast culture of off-white? Have you?
Well, I talked to him.
Have you heard
that? Really loves, but does not know a lot about.
Right, but I'm just curious. Even if it's gotten to that level where even people like you who aren't into sneakers know about off-white.
I know I like off-white, but what's the significance?
Okay, so Off-White was started by a guy named Virgil Abloh, who was part of Kanye's camp. Okay. And he just...
The life of Abloh?
Astronomically rose with this Nike collection you see behind you, this being one of the flagship models, if not the flagship, which I'll tell you about in a second. Yeah. But he is now the menswear director for Louis Vuitton. Okay. So he's making moves. All right. Now... This was when he announced his collaboration with Nike. I went ahead and he called it the 10. Okay. And he picked 10 different Nike models to work on. So this was kind of like the Jordan 1. This is a Jordan 1 model. So this was the flagship model of the entire line. Okay. Like when you first started seeing images leaking for a sneaker nerds, this was the model that leaked. And then I was watching countless interviews of his. And in one of them, he mentioned how this ended up becoming the first release, this model, which we call the Chicago colorway, which is what Jordan actually wore. This white version, turns out, it came out second. It was a European exclusive, so it cost me way more than I wish it did. Really? And
what's the significance of this? Why do people keep this on?
So it's purely his design. So his whole thing is... So I'll show you. These up here are all my...
You're on house arrest when you
right, so compare this to or actually, maybe an easier comparison would be, oops. So this being his Jordan 1, right? And then this being the
This
regular,
is the classic,
original retro
wears. Yeah.
of what Jordan was actually wearing in 1985. So he basically took a whole deconstruction theme, because he actually went to engineering undergrad and architecture master's degree before getting into it with Kanye's camp and becoming a whole big designer and whatnot.
Yeah.
So so his whole theme was deconstruction. So like, you know, the stitching on the swooshes, you know, exposing the tongue,
So
you know,
deconstruction
using the quotes.
is like showing the insides.
Right, like an unfinished product almost.
So what about it is cool? Well, like, I never liked deconstruction that much. I've always kind of thought it looked interesting, but it seemed like poverty.
Sure.
It seemed like almost exploiting poverty.
It's fair, and I think part of the reason is he was in tune with Kanye, so
Okay.
And secondly, he's just a very well-spoken, very articulate dude. So he was able to he got invited to Harvard's design school to like talk about this.
Right.
And
also, I'm saying that as I'm wearing ripped jeans. So you're right. I'm full of shit. I'm full of shit.
But dude, it was hilarious because like you think about concerts and like people throwing panties on stage for like a headliner. Dude, at this freaking Harvard speech, at the end of it, people were throwing their shoes at him to sign. Shit. So the reason, actually, that reminds me too.
They smelled like pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like they rub the shoe on their pussy and then throw it.
But no, they actually, now that I remind myself, the reason these took off, let alone the other models, is because he very smartly used social media to really push these. Okay. So like,
how so?
So you see how he like started writing air on the side compared to like say, this is foam because it's a different cushioning technology, or is this foam too? Yeah, this is foam. What he did with the Jordans and even some of the other hype models, like this being maybe arguably the second best, which I won't bore you with, but right here on the midsole, he would start to Sharpie in different celebrities. So like for Odell Beckham Jr., he'd write Air OBJ, or for Serena, it'd be like Air Williams, or who's the other big one? Air Timberlake, or whatever. Or Drake got his own pair, or whatever, right? So
I don't like these shoes at all, bro. I'll be honest.
Okay.
It looks like these are the Nike food stamp 11s. These are food stamp shoes.
You're gonna piss off a lot of people, but some people regard this as like their holy grail of like.
But why so? Why so? I think the coloring is ugly. I think it looks, the green is okay, but this is just worn. I don't know. I don't like aesthetically. I don't like shoes that are just like
vintaged,
just vintage for no reason.
No,
that's my thing.
I'm actually 100% on your page, but I made an exception for these, and I'm happy I did because they doubled in value the minute I bought them, and they were already like quadruple the value when I bought them. So
these idiots.
And they're maybe I mentioned the Air Marias were comfortable. These are supremely comfortable compared to those. But yeah, so he really captivated social media with all these different influencers and celebrities wearing these shoes. All of a sudden the hype built, and then it just crashed the internet when it released. So that's why this is such a huge deal. Now, just to go back to quickly why this pair is so special, which I was telling you why you had such good taste apparently. These are special because he was telling in one of these, one of many interviews that I was just nerding out about, how this was supposed to be the original release color, not that one, not the red one.
Right.
But what happened was he was in an airport apparently, and he, I can't remember if the story goes, he saw someone or he himself was wearing a white pair of Dunks, which is this model, which looks very similar. And someone confused them, if not himself. So he's like, oh shit, it looks too similar to some regular bullshit. Nike, get on the phone, can we switch the color? Right. So, he ended up going with this color instead as the debut release, but then in retrospect, when I found out about that, I was like, all right, well, now that he's actually releasing the white, I got to go with this.
So basically, this is the closest to his original idea.
Exactly. So I had to. So my collection is more based on historics. So like any Jordans you see in these first two rows, Kobe's, LeBron's, it's all whatever the most flagship / historic colorway was. That's what I collect because I don't have room to just collect what's pretty. Otherwise, I'd have like 8,000 penthouses I'd have to stock. But
exactly. No, I got 800 penthouses. It's that word makes me angry. Penthouse. Jeez.
But anyway, after that long explanation, we're two in. We're third in.
Two in.
And don't forget, we have this whole other wall on the other side.
I'm gonna do one more from this wall.
Cool.
And for me, it's always been about like keeping it slim because my legs are very skinny. So whenever I wore big like SB Dunks, it never looked good. Cause I got skinny ass legs.
Fair enough.
So I always liked the high tops that I hug the leg, or the low tops that kind of like low tops is the right for low tops.
That's the scientific term.
Thanks,
for
God,
sure.
SB Blazers, is that what it is?
Yep, that's a blazer. Yep.
Love these. Love these. Huge fan. But I know this. I already took 2 white shoes, so I'm gonna vary it up a little bit.
I was wearing those the night I met Schultz. He was even like, yo, what are those?
Hey, this is the one day that Emo Phillips said I should quit comedy. Yeah. Is that how you look at all the shoes? And these, I said hi to Dave Attell when he spit in my face. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's funny that you picked those up and mentioned Chappelle, because these are well known in, he's from the DC area.
Okay, yeah, he is.
And to the DMV region, DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Yeah.
That's what they call in the sneaker world. This was the shoe that really popped off there. Reason being,
what's that?
This was the first ever shoe back in the 80s. Think about back in the 80s, right? Sure. This was the first shoe to retail at a cost of $100. Mm-hmm. This was a big deal back in the 1980s. What?
Wait, is that for that time? Was that
for that
crazy?
time? Think about it. Like, yeah, Jordans here are going for routinely 220, 165, whatever. Right. But in 1985, for a sneaker to go for $100 was ridiculous. So, so this was the first one to do that. So, who gravitated to it? Dope boys, hustlers, drug dealers. Yeah. And so it became like the it shoe in that area, and it just exploded. So these are the New Balance 990s.
You know the N in New Balance stands for Nazi. Because they're fucking racist. All right, let me get a shoe. Okay. I'm gonna try to go out of the white range here. See, these kind of things, again, I only like these sort of athletic shoes like that.
Okay. We get it. You don't like to run. Who does?
It's like running away from my problems mentally. Right, boom. I like these right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, your taste, for someone with no money, your taste is...
I know, dude. It's really hard right now. I keep looking outside your window and just reminding myself how much I don't have. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. So, yeah, this is my third right here.
Okay.
This is my third. I like the color and I like the fabric of it.
Yeah, man. This is... have you ever heard of that store in Soho, Kith?
Yes.
Yeah, so Ronnie Feig of Kith actually designed this colorway for this Asics model. It's the GT2. I believe it was the first Asics model to feature their gel technology. So the reason, and it's called the Rose Gold. Reason being, he was taking a flight back from a visit with Adidas. Because Adidas and Nike both have that same Beaverton, Oregon.
My sock game, though. My sock game, though.
he was on a flight back, and he noticed like this beautiful sunset, and that inspired him to design this color.
It's gorgeous.
So.
I think the rose gold is one of the most powerful colors.
Boom.
I'm a huge fan. Let's go on that side.
All right, halfway there.
All right, here we go.
So this is mostly Adidas on this wall, and then the bottom half is all Air Max.
Oh yeah, Air Max I can't stand.
Really?
I know.
Wow.
I know I'm saying things that will get me killed. I know. But this is just how I think.
Okay.
I just think, okay, so I'm loving this. I like the sleekness of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Love these.
Dude, your taste is really pissing me off.
Why? Huge fan of these. You don't like these?
No, I'm saying I can't believe your taste. Like it's
it's good.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes. Well, dude, here's the thing. It's like I think a lot of people have taste based on what they think is cool, or based on what they think is gonna make them look the best. Whereas I just like the shit that I like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, especially with the people that come in here that don't know shit about sneakers. Yeah. Clearly, they're just picking what they like. They don't know what's the most expensive or what's most
high. So it's the purity of it. It's an innocence of it.
Yeah, it's very interesting what you're choosing, because these are a lot of my favorites as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are the Aniki Boosts, and this was, you see there, I have 3 different colors of it. That's how much I like the shoe. But,
no, I love this. I love what you're doing with this.
Yeah, but this is probably my favorite colorway of all 3. It's just like this beautiful, and I love the honeycomb to the bottom. That's like my favorite part. I almost want to eat it.
I love it.
Oh,
dude.
Don't worry, I can buy another one.
It's so funny, you're so rich, money's falling on you. You just trip over your own money.
Oh boy. Let's put this bad boy back.
Hold up.
Yeah, Nico White was really pissed with me when he came in here. He was just pure anger.
I'm gonna watch that episode.
Pure anger.
Boy, what the fuck is this? Okay, hold on.
All right, you got 2 left.
2 more. I'm a huge Vans guy. Guy. But you don't have the Vans that I love. I love the white high top. That's my favorite Vans.
Yeah, for Vans, I really only collected the classic, typical colorways. Other than this bad boy, this is the Nintendo collaboration they did, and like on the soles it says "Game
this
Over."
Is number 5. Here. Yeah. I grew up in Nintendo. Nintendo was my whole life growing up.
There you go.
I used to play like fucking One summer I was like, I need to get better at games, so I played the hardest games of all time, right? So the whole summer I was beating Battletoads, and fucking Double Dragon 3, fucking Ghosts and Ghouls, Super Ghosts and Goblins, R-Type, Gradius, all the shit to make me feel like I was an actual gamer. I was crazy about it. So Nintendo right here. And peep this, peep it. Peep the merch, bitch.
Hey.
Peep the merch, bitch.
All right, we're down to the final choice.
Final choice. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna make sure this is okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to choose one that maybe I've never really seen before, or like, that kind of strikes me as like something that like.
If you don't choose in the last 11 seconds, the Jeopardy music will play you out. Boom. All right.
Right here.
Jordan.
This is something else. Like this is nothing I would ever wear.
Huh.
Because I think it would look too bulky on my legs.
Okay. All right.
But look-wise, I think it's fucking unreal fire.
Yeah, Jordan 8 Aqua, the classic colorway for that model.
Well, one time I'm on Medicaid, so I've been to rehab clinic, not for me, but it's just like if you're on Medicaid, they put you in a rehab clinic, just to, for flu shots. And there was a crackhead wearing this, and I was like, "Well, what happened first, the crack or this? I don't know. You bought this and you became crackhead, or
it's possible. We'll never know."
This shit's insane.
Yeah, man.
And if you're wearing this in like the hood, then you already a brave motherfucker. Love it.
Dope. Any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
Anything that stood out to you that you wanted to pick but you weren't sure?
This is my life right here, so I gotta go into the Vans. Gotta go into the
Vans.
the classic. Just the classic.
Authentics.
Classic.
Boom.
And you know what I love with these is someone who wears white socks with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the white socks and you got this weird looking kind of almost pseudo high top. Is that the term? Pseudo high top?
We just came up with it, so get on it, Vans. You got a new model coming out. Dope. All right. Well, that's the top 6 with Usama Siddiqui of comedy fame here. We'll see you on the next segment, bro. Thanks. Boom. Peace.